Warum sind eigentlich immer hier solche Idioten unterwegs? Sir.
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Na, benötigen wir noch
Do
Hinweise.
you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Toll.
Goodbye, young man.
Danke, jetzt weiß ich, dass die gut aussieht.
Not me.
Sir, Sie haben gerade auf einen Mann
In the
geschossen.
middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Warum? Was sagt die medizinische Untersuchung? Migräne. Ach, die haben Mittel gegen Migräne anscheinend.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
I'm not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Weiterer Hinweis.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Aha.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
Hör auf zu meckern.
How are you?
I'm not your boy, alright?
Ich dachte, ich hätte vielleicht irgendwas freigeschaltet, da ich mit deinem Vater jetzt geredet habe.
I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
Oh, weg ist der Vater. Ach, weil eine andere Mülltonne durchsucht. Ja, Sir. Gute Arbeit, Sir.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Ich kann mit der zum Beispiel auch handeln.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Okay, der Rest ist alles persönliche Fragen. Gucken wir mal, was sie so hat. Svenska muss mit einer größtenteils lateinischen Liste der Inhaltsstoffe. Dieser Gegenstand kann in seine wiederverwertbare Bestandteile zerlegt werden. Ich sollte sie einfach mitnehmen, um den Kram loszuwerden. Also beziehungsweise nicht um den Kram loszuwerden, sondern um das zu zerlegen. Ich denke mal, das ist nicht unpraktisch. Ach, da soll der Unterschlupf sein.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
You'll understand. You've wasted your life away.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Oh. Tja. Vielleicht komme ich von der anderen Seite in den Unterschlupf da rein. Dann gehen wir weiter die Dame suchen. Du wächst aber häufig die Position, während du betrunken bist. Warum habe ich überhaupt Leute danach gefragt, wenn ich direkt hier reingehen kann?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. There's nobody here.
Ja, man sieht ihn nicht mehr, ne? Da ist sie doch.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Ganz schön lange geht die Nacht hier. Muss man sich dazu auch noch fragen.
Peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my...
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Was ist mit deinem Gesicht passiert?
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Ah, ich weiß, was du getroffen hast. Das waren keine Herrschaften.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Aha. Barrett befindet sich in einer finanziellen Krise, da er von Joe erpresst wird. Ach, das ist das Gebiet, wo Hampton ist. Aber hier haben wir zum Beispiel Migräne. Er erholt sich schon, weil es war ja nur eine Krankheit, die ich... Moment, das Erschöpfungsding, das ging ja recht schnell. So, persönliche Fragen gehen nicht. Aber zeig mir mal deine Waren. Du verkaufst ja eigentlich auch nur Krimskrams.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Vor allem Joe sieht aus wie ein Kohleschipper. Wirklich von irgendeinem Dampfschiff.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Mhm.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Aha.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Die
Goodbye,
Schwester
Mr.
suche ich nicht mehr. Aber irgendwo muss hier Clayton sein. Und was machst du? Du betest den Boden an?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy
Ach,
to
da hinten
teach
ist
mortals
Clayton.
about
Der hat
the
mich schon so ein
incoming
Notizheft
Armageddon.
und schreibt den Regen da rein.
And I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Oh mein Gott. Wissenschaft heißt nicht, dass man nicht religiös sein kann.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Ja, aber erzähl mir ruhig
I
davon.
suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Ja, lustigerweise hat er sogar recht. Feuer wirkt ja gegen mich.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Er ist wirklich sehr verrückt.
What do you mean?
All science.
Quite a...
Well, you
Moment,
What do
the beat.
jetzt laufen wir denselben Weg
I
nochmal.
have heard...
Nur Bekloppte hier. Aber ich muss nochmal kurz nochmal mit ihm reden. Vielleicht haben wir noch die Möglichkeit, irgendwas rauszufinden.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No.
Wahrscheinlich ist er so verrückt, da ich ihn nicht mehr manipulieren
But I have a
kann.
disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Ich denke mal, der wird tot
You sent
sein.
him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Wahnsinniger Spinner bist du.
I have heard enough.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's
Mein
Darby,
Güte.
reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Alter. Kennt man es eigentlich damals nicht, dass man vielleicht versucht, ein bisschen inkognito und nicht aufzufallen in der Stadt? Und dann kommt ein schwarzer Journalist nach Londoner Innenstadt mit einer Brille und mit dem feinsten Jackett, um hier Fragen zu stellen.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Ach, du bist so ein Wahrheitsvertreter.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Oh mein Gott, er ist Blogger.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Er hat keine Verwandten.
He has no relatives at all?
No. except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Aha.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Und er ist wirklich ein guter Reporter. Ja, zum einen haben wir jetzt die Sache, es gibt den Briefkasten, wo er den Brief nicht abgeschickt hat. Was kann aber auch andere Gründe haben. Und als Journalist hat er ihn wahrscheinlich eigentlich aufgesammelt, den Brief.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Ich glaube, das, was du mir anbieten willst, möchte ich nicht. Da ist so der Briefkasten und darüber ist ein Brief. Meine lieben Kinder, es tut mir so leid, dass ihr einige Monate lang nichts von mir gehört habt. Die Lage in London war schwierig. Ich weiß, es klingt vielleicht egoistisch und töricht, wenn ihr, meine Kinder, noch in einem Land lebt, das vom Krieg heimgesucht wird. Aber auch hier in England tobte ein Krieg. Ein Krieg gegen Armut und Ungerechtigkeiten. Diesen Krieg will ich trotz meines fortgeschrittenen Alters führen. Deshalb schreibe ich euch heute. Ich werde nicht nach Rumänien zurückkehren. Das bedeutet, ich sehe euch wahrscheinlich nicht wieder, bevor ich sterbe. Seid nicht traurig, meine Lieben. Ihr seid mittlerweile erwachsen und habt selbst Kinder. Ihr wisst, welche Opfer wir manchmal bringen müssen, um diese Welt zu einem besseren Ort zu machen. Und dieses muss ich nun bringen, damit ich mich noch ein letztes Mal nützlich fühlen kann. Ich wünsche euch ein langes und glückliches Leben. Gebt meinen Enkeln einen Kuss von mir und vergesst nicht, dass euer Vater euch auch weit ab der kalten Heimat liebt. Euer euch ewig liebender Vater Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Das auf jeden Fall. Hey, Blumen, die nicht vertrocknet sind. Ein kleiner Blumenstrauß, ein Gutschein für eine kostenlose medizinische Untersuchung ist zwischen den Blumen versteckt. Camellia verteilt heimlich Gutscheine für Untersuchungen in Dorothy Cranes Apotheke. Du bist die Frau, die das hier macht.
I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Unglaublich, sie ist wirklich stumm.
Very well.
Okay, dann kann ich natürlich nicht viel ausrichten. Selbst wenn ich ihren Verstand da ein bisschen manipuliere.
It's locked, all right.
Da muss ich von vorne nach hinten gehen. Okay, von der Seite komme ich nicht nach hinten. Es war so klar, dass ich mich verlaufe. Also ich verlaufen, aber dass ich in eine Sackgasse reinlaufe. Hier ist offen. Boah, es kann doch nicht sein, dass hier Viecher sind. Da sind sogar mehr. Oh, der Wehenangriff funktioniert selbst gegen die. Aber die Ausdauer zu verbessern war das Beste, was ich tun konnte. Sehr schön. Habt ihr noch was dabei gehabt? Du hast noch was. Aber wie kann das sein, dass die hier rumlungern, während der Dichter hier um die Ecke ist? Junge, du bist auf dem Friedhof.
Angel made flesh, I tell you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Wenn mein Wohngebiet so aussehen würde, ich würde dein Haus nie wieder verlassen.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Er ist Künstler, ich muss ihm ein bisschen schmeicheln.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Ja, das ist der zweite Hinweis auf sie.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Also er ist in sie verliebt.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Okay, kommen wir zum Eingemachten.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Aha, da kannst du ja nur Darius.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Erstmal danke.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Ja, das sollte ganz gut funktionieren jetzt. Da kann ich plötzlich hier rausgehen, ne? Es ist, wie es immer ist. Einmal außen rum und schon kannst du die Tür öffnen. Ach, diese melancholische Musik.